What do you do when you just don't enjoy anything anymore? I'm in the same boat at the moment. My current strategy is focusing on feeling again. Feeling warm sun on my skin. Tasting new foods and flavors. Listening to the birds and to random people walking by in the shops. Looking for new sights and colors and cool things in new places. Focusing on my senses has helped my body get back in touch with my mind, so I'm starting to slowly find joy in the things I used to. One day at a time. I'm getting there. But this is definitely helping. Hope it gets better for you soon up. You aren't alone. Remember to look up. I went to a forest bathing class. It's a Japanese thing. It spread to other places. Ike, my friend, wanted to do it. You can Google it, and the one thing we learned that made me feel better immediately was to find a tree and just stand and look up at its top. Perhaps it's the perspective. The worse I feel, the more I look at the ground. Perhaps it's the posture. Perhaps it's the happy little tree. I don't know. But when I take a couple of minutes to do this, it feels like a knot in my chest is unraveled. When it's gross outside, or leaving my house feels like too much effort, I look at pictures of flowers on my phone. Currently browsing the David Austin Rose website in an attempt to make myself feel a bit better. My go-to is winter/Christmas themed things. It's my favorite time of year, and I love how warm everything looks compared to the fresh snow. My bad answer: drink. My good answer: exercise. I've been doing both with varying degrees of success. Undefined. Same here. Since the pandemic hit, got myself back into shape by putting an exercise bike in my living room, but also increased my alcohol intake. It's a weird time we are living through, right? Doing my best to stay sane. In my case, since the pandemic hit, I went back to drinking indoors. Never a good idea. I've quit since New Year's, but probably won't be exercising. Lol. Cooking healthy, drawing, etc. do help me keep sane though. Something else. Literally. I had a huge gaping hole when my fiancé died, and after a while, I picked up watercolor art. I sucked at it, but kept at it. I kind of enjoyed it, but quit after a while. When I felt like I was in a loveless marriage because I felt that my wife loved vodka more than me, I turned to the piano. I enjoyed it, but after 2 years I got tired of it. I'm in a good spot now. Still married, and my wife has quit drinking. And I am absolutely in love with woodworking. It's an expensive hobby, but it is so cathartic. Keeping yourself busy and trying new things is a great way to fill yourself with a sense of self-worth. I tend to cycle through hobbies and sometimes wonder if it's doing myself a disservice. I consider myself pretty happy and in a good mental state given all that I've been dealt. Because of your comment, I'm realizing that's partially thanks to my habits of just doing things that look interesting until something else interests me. Personally, I enjoy learning a new skill. I don't generally take the time to master that skill, but I really love the learning process. I also find that it's great for my mental health. It allows me to focus solely on my hobby and to shut everything else that's happening around me down. Same here. The discovery, the new sensations, the new perspectives. It's all exciting and a good rush. The better I am naturally at something, I'll stick with it longer. But eventually something else that's newer and more exciting comes along. And I suppose that's not a bad thing. I should learn to channel that more. I don't know, man, I'm with you though. Set miniature projects for yourself. Don't get upset when you don't complete them. Don't put pressure on yourself to do them. Just give them a shot. Side note. I know it's tough in COVID times, but this sounds like a symptom of depression and I recommend you get help. Good luck. Coming from a fellow depressed person, setting and achieving small goals is huge. I list them in my notes app. Like get groceries, clean bathroom, and I feel like I did something with my day when I cross them off. Exercising works too. It's tough because life was going so good before COVID and now everything is peeped. But it has to end at some point. Right? I stare at a wall. Turn in AC/DC. And try not to hurt myself. What's your favorite song? Also, please don't hurt yourself. Highway to Hell. I'm 11 days clean, but it's getting really hard. I've really fallen in love with how kick-ass whole Loto Rosie is. Makes me drive recklessly. Why not make tomorrow day 12? But also, if you do slip up, remember that self-forgiveness is paramount. This year, and every other time in my life that has been hard, I take a lot of comfort in history. It sounds dorky, but it really lifts my spirits. I'll watch historical documentaries. And not only do I learn something, but I realize that for thousands of years, people have struggled just like us. My absolute favorites are the BBC documentaries where historians live and work as though it's a specific time period. Secrets of the Castle, Tales from the Green Valley, Victorian Farm, etc. I learn about stonemasonry. Watch people struggle to bathe sheep. Daydream about living in the past. Don't get me wrong, I know living then would suck. I love running water and having the right to vote and not be a man's property. But it reminds me that people have been making it through life for thousands of years. I can do it too. It cheers me up. I've recently started reading historical fiction. While it may not be history, it is rather amazing to think of all that happened in the last 1,000 years, and it puts our little troubles or big troubles somewhat in perspective. That could be a symptom of depression. Research depression, and if more of the symptoms seem familiar to you, contact your doctor. If you're in the northern hemisphere, it could be amplified by the seasonal lack of sunlight. This is SAD. Seasonal affective disorder. Also known as one of the best named disorders in the history of disorders. The Big SAD. Keep showing up for the paycheck. This too shall pass. I think the older you are, the more you can look back and see the peaks and valleys in life. So when I'm in a valley, I just hang around and give it time, till I get past it and hit the next peak. Remember this, but also forget this. Find something meaningful that you like to do and do it. Don't wait for it to pass, because life is also passing you by. Therapy. 6-month wait time due to COVID. That's not ideal. I'm inferring from the title that you may be experiencing anhedonia, which is a common symptom of depression. You may find it helpful to read up on some different psychotherapies, such as cognitive behavioral therapy. It won't be as effective without a therapist to guide you through it, but it can still be beneficial in helping to identify unhelpful patterns in your thoughts and behaviors and when/why they occur. That can be a solid first step in improving your state of mind, until you can get professional help, assuming you're looking for it. Other than that, I wish I could offer you some more concrete advice, but the cliche, sleep well, eat well and exercise, couldn't hurt. As annoying as it can be to have people telling you that. I get on Reddit, and the cycle continues. I no longer have many highs, just lows or neutrals. Medication does help, but it's like a crutch for a broken leg. You still need to get better, but it aids you during recovery. I quit my job and luckily was able to move in with my parents again. I'm 23 FYI. Trying to eradicate all unnecessary responsibilities and distractions from my life so that I can focus on my health. Exercise 4 times a week. Started researching the stock market for fun and fascination. Taking it one day at a time. It usually happens when I'm depressed. I try to check in with myself about what I need and go from there. Destimulate. Sometimes it's a high dopamine tolerance. Retrain brain. Reject human and go back to monkey. This is me now. I'm at a point where not only do I not enjoy things anymore, I honestly don't even see the point of enjoyment. Therapy and meds work for some people. Hasn't for me. What used to work for me was essentially keeping myself so busy that I didn't have time to think about my feelings or thoughts like what's the point of anything. Sometimes I ended up actually enjoying the things. But really just scheduling enough things could be a decent distraction from fully realizing whether or not I was happy. Anyway, that worked for a while for me. COVID kind of killed my momentum on that, unfortunately. But depends on how well remote events can substitute for real life events for you. Leave a like and a comment if you liked the video. Check out more Reddit related video, I am posting them daily. Subscribe to see more Reddit content.